Welcome to the Indie Corner, where we talk about all things independent comics, specifically the greatest superhero comic book in the universe, Robert Kirkman's Invincible. I'm Mikey.
I'm Christian.
And I am Matt.
And today, we're back at it again with another video, back on the main story. We're going to talk about on episode 6, talking about the Head of the Class story arc, issues 14 to 19. Very excited. This is going to be just main story for the next, up to episode 10. So it's going to be great.
I miss Brit. I don't want to do it. I miss Brit.
You miss Brit?
Yeah, I miss Brit. Don't give a shit about Invincible.
Well,
why don't we do a Brit
only here for
podcast?
Brit.
What's this shit? Why should we do Invincible? Where's that Brit podcast, Mikey?
Brit podcast?
Yeah, talk about Brit all day.
Because there's not much Brit to show.
I bet there's not.
I mean,
more Brit.
But yeah. But listen, we're gonna give there's a little hint to what we read before, so it's gonna so it's gonna be a wonderful time.
Yeah.
So issues 14 and 19, we have visual aids just like we did with Saga, because I was so proud of myself for figuring that out last time.
You was.
Yeah, I'm proud of you too, Michael.
Thank you.
I'm not. I'm sorry.
All right, so while I pull up the screenshot, Christian, you want to talk about issue 14?
Yes, sir. All right.
Mhm.
So issue 14 starts off with a familiar enemy, the aliens that die from old age really quickly from a different dimension. But this time, something's very different. They're not dying of old age.
Mm-hmm.
The reason being, they invented this new wristband designed from Omni-Man's clothes, I guess. The concept was they had a better understanding of this dimension's material through Omni-Man, and they learned the English language through recordings of him, and they went on this whole huge spiel, which basically explained the perfect way to defeat them, which is just to destroy the wristbands, and they got fucking murdered.
And some dope art here.
The
art of the fight.
Absolutely great art. The shrinking guy changed his outfit. I'm not sure if you thought about that.
Shrinking Ray.
Yeah, Shrinking Ray.
Shrinking Ray.
Mm-hmm. After the fight ensued, we have Invincible heading back home, and he runs into Immortal, right? That's his name, Immortal?
Yep.
All right, awesome. And I just questioned because the last time we talked about him, he died. So
yeah.
Right.
So got decapitated and then put back together.
Exactly. Got fucking murked. So Immortal comes by and he starts to threaten Invincible because his father was the one that murdered him, and he believes that the apple doesn't falls too far from the tree. There we go.
One of those.
Yeah, one of those sayings. And he's very he's going to be keeping an eye on Invincible to make sure he doesn't turn evil like his dad. In Mark's room, you see Cecil explaining that the recordings between Mark and his dad, Omni-Man, got released to the press, which, normally it'd sound bad, but since it wasn't specifically mentioned that Mark was the son of Omni-Man, just a Mark was the son of it. He's fine, but his mother, they went into great detail, so she's the one who's going to be suffering about this.
Yeah, I think it's also important to note that another thing that you can find in Mark's bedroom in the scene is really big speech bubbles and a ton of text. Oh my god!
It was basically a book at that point.
Bobby Kirk, listen.
Bobby Kirk!
Bobby Boy Kirk.
Listen, this is a comic book, my dude.
Comic book means pictures, my guy.
This is a visual medium. If I want to read a novel, I'll read a novel. I'd fucking love me a good novel, but man, I'm not here for that.
Yeah. And I can't even fucking read. I've only just been surviving through context clues this entire fucking time. So this was really difficult for poor old me.
Yeah.
Yeah. After the word bubble fiasco thing, he teleports, which I want to know cost like $5 million
Of like taxpayer money.
taxpayer money just to do it fucking once. And Mark heads downstairs, knock at the door. Art, the guy who made his suit, came by to check up on Invincible's mom, and they started drinking. It was very nice. It was a bonding scene. I liked it very much.
When I was reading this at first, I thought that was Cecil back at the door again.
Oh, really?
The old dude. How funny would that be? If he teleported away to the
If it just
front door.
slid into Mark.
The teleport didn't work. Can I get a ride home?
That would be hilarious.
It would.
So much. But back to the story. Mark's mom is taking it super hard. It is fucking really sad, in all honesty. I didn't expect like her face to express so much depressing emotion, but through this series, I really felt bad for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mark comes back to school after the whole fiasco with his dad. He took a short leave. Everyone misses him, obviously. Mikey might want me to mention fucking the bomb guy returned. Do you want to talk about it?
I mean, yeah, like it's Derek, the guy who's part bomb but not bomb enough, returns to mess up some kids that were picking on him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a freak.
And you fucking
And he has
Roy Brown.
Frank, so like that's not gonna end well.
After that, after the whole school scene, he's being super distant with all his friends. We go back to the Guardians of the Globe. It's revealed that Bulletproof joins the Guardians, and Immortal is acting as an advisor for the new Guardians.
Let me pull up that screenshot real quick.
Yeah,
Should I have those too?
Yeah.
But I'll continue.
Oh yeah, of course. So they have this whole spiel that the Guardians of the Globe aren't good enough, and that's why they're bringing in these new people. And the comic book ends with a really sad note of Mark's mom crying on the floor because she made a meal for 3 and forgot that her husband left him, and she blames Invincible for beating up his husband. Well, fighting him right here. Definitely didn't get beat up. Yeah, it's just super sad.
It's a pretty nasty thing to say to an 18-year-old boy, but
it is.
Yeah,
I get it. I get it.
Mm-hmm. She was in a point of grieving. She didn't know.
Yeah, like even if like here's the page right here, and it's just like she's like so distraught and like can't like mentally like cope with her husband like lying to her and like leaving her, to the point like she's deflecting on her son, which is like a no-no.
Mm-hmm.
So
they really took a lot of time to like make loss believable. You know, a lot of the times I think in media, when it comes to loss, it's like, oh yeah, my fucking dad died. Oh well, I gotta do shit. Gotta no time for that. We gotta progress the story. But with this one, it really changes Invincible's demeanor and definitely goes ham on poor mom.
Honestly,
so bad for her. Yeah,
because like the crazy thing is like Art goes there to comfort her, but then like then he comes in with a bottle, and then it makes you wonder like, okay, even though I understand he's trying to help her, this is not going to end well with alcohol, and she probably like said what she said to Mark due to like the alcohol.
Yeah.
So and also. Also, sorry, just real quick, just like to cut back to Immortal. I don't know if we ever mentioned this before, but like, I love his. I kind of like his costume.
It's pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah, it's sick.
It's the same color coding as Invincible, right?
In a way, yeah. Except for the white. And like, there's not a lot of black.
Yeah. Hey, do you think that was intentional? Because they have a lot of similarities, right?
I think it has to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thing is, like, I was about to say something involving his origin, but I don't think we're there yet because I thought they mentioned it earlier. But like, I stopped myself. Okay.
Okay.
That's what I was gonna mention.
We
at
might have
first.
stumbled on some foreshadowing here.
Word. But also, to talk a bit more about Bulletproof, Bulletproof is the dude in the third panel with the familiar suit. Because if for our viewers who don't remember, when me and Damone were saying when Invincible was trying his first costume fitting in the first issue of the comic that Art gave him, he wore this exact suit, and me and Damone said we will see this suit later on, and turns out Bulletproof starts wearing it, and this will be his like signature costume now. So it's a hand-me-down of Mark's shit.
That's wild.
I
Right?
told like that's the crazy thing is Kirkman doesn't leave a stone like left unturned, even the small stuff.
Yeah.
So
I love that. I love those little Easter eggs for the readers to.
So like
see.
if yeah, exactly. So if when you're reading Invincible and you see like and like something is just like it's like stopped and never talked about again, don't expect it not to be mentioned in another issue. Okay. Like so yeah. All right. So you want to talk about the next issue? Issue 15.
Oh,
Here's that cover.
So
yes,
good.
this is what I've been looking forward to all goddamn day.
This might be my favorite issue. It's this one where
It's hysterical.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
It's so good.
Oh my god.
Like when I was reading it, I kind of don't want to go into depth. I just want to explain the premise of this story because that's all you really need.
It is.
Yeah.
Do that anyway, even though Mikey
I mean,
doesn't
I would
want me
like
to.
a little bit of details.
I'll give you a
our
little
audience
bit of
don't
detail,
know.
sure, after. So the premise of the story is Invincible needs to fuck that fish. That is the entire premise of this story with some side shit that I really do not care about. But he has to fuck that fish. Why? Because Omni-Man was supposed to fuck that fish. Why? Because Omni-Man murdered that fish's husband. All right. But seriously, let's actually explain this properly.
Okay.
Yeah. So Invincible is called in by Cecil, and he explains the scenario between these fish people, and I guess the land dwellers, where they have trade and resources and stuff. So they need to be goody-goody with one another. And ever since Omni-Man killed, I guess, the king of the people, off-brand Aquaman.
Yeah, Aquarus? I never say it.
Who gives a shit? It's off-brand Aquaman.
Yeah. It's off-brand Namor.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah. And in their society, it's required to find a suitor for the queen. And if there's no worthy suitor in the society, they have to pick the person who killed the king. And if the person who killed the king isn't available, it has to be their next of kin.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know.
Because it's dumb Atlantean culture.
I have a fan theory.
Yeah.
I have a fan theory.
Okay.
I think the reason it's like that, and I might be stretching. Let me know if you think it's a stretch.
Okay.
I think the reason it's like that is because Robert Kirkman thought it would be funny if Invincible had to fuck a fish.
I mean, basically.
Hold on. You might be onto something.
That's my theory. I'm just guessing. And you know what? He was kind of right.
You figured it out.
Oh, he figured it out, boys.
Mr. Comedy. All you got to do is fuck a fish. Who doesn't find that funny?
That's my plan for my next stand-up special. Just go on stage. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah. I have to get past this part. I'm too obsessed with it. It's weird. I'm sorry. I apologize.
It's great.
Yeah.
So Cecil's goal is to decide that Invincible just play along, and we'll try to find a loophole in their government to see if we can get you out of it.
We have a legal team for you to
defend you for your superhero rights. You gotta fuck a fish and you don't want to? We'll do it for you. I'm sorry. I can't. You can't get me on that fish thing. I'll get distracted.
We'll do it for you.
We will defend the right to fuck a fish for you.
Listen, here's the thing. They could have gotten someone to wear the Invincible costume.
We gotta move on.
Yeah, there's more to this issue.
Okay. So they figured out. They go into this underwater city.
Yeah, I'll pull that up.
And then it shifts to Guardians of the Globe. Very hilarious part 2. Fucking robot. That's his name, right? The robot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has a conversation with Monster Girl about her sexual advances towards the new member, Bulletproof. Just a reminder, Monster Girl is the 14-year-old girl.
I don't think she's not 14. She's
not,
like 8.
I was gonna explain it, Mikey. She's like 30 something.
She's 29.
Yeah, it goes into this backstory where she's like, I only molest people because
she's not molested.
She is. She's sexually assaulting this man.
No, she's just being a little bit aggro towards the flirting. She has not touched this man. She hasn't.
Take it up with HR, Mikey. Take it up with HR.
I would defend Monster Girl because I think she's great.
I do too. You're not wrong. It's hilarious, but it's still no.
I don't remember this character. And
she's the girl that turns into a monster.
Yeah. She showed up when we did episode 4 and she auditioned for the Guardians of the Globe. She knocked the shit out of Rexplode for like being an asshole.
She turned into a monster, and part of that makes her also Benjamin Button?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but yes. And that's why
for our viewers, the way Monster Girl's powers work, she turns into a monster, and the more she does it, the bigger the monster gets, and the more she transforms, the bigger the monster gets, and her human form like de-ages slow. So like, it's an interesting like dichotomy between like that power.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of neat. I still don't really like her at all.
Yeah. She's there.
I get it if you do. Whatever.
Comedic relief. She's just comedic relief. That's her whole story. But back to the main story. Invincible makes it there. She's the queen. And this guy, I forget his title, but he's the second
the vizier.
Thank you, Matt. He's the vizier, and he's explaining the process of getting married. And initially they thought it was going to be like a week from now where they set up the ceremony. It turns out it's happening today. And the situation for the ceremony, get this: 1, you got to fight a monster.
Mm-hmm.
2, you got to fuck her in front of everybody. You just no private room. Immediately after you kill something, you got to fuck. And then boom, you're married.
And to clarify, her in this context is a fish.
Stop it! Like, you go on another tangent about it. Why does she have fish boobs?
She has fish
lactate.
Wait, you want me to pull that image up, or do you want me to just wait till later?
Yeah, save it for later. I'm gonna get a couple seconds. All right. Yeah. So after the vizier explains the situation, it's revealed that the vizier is in love with the queen, and Invincible decides, you know what? I don't want to have sex with this fish, so I'm gonna let you take care of it. And so they form a plan, and then we shift to Mark's mom. She had to Chicago, I think. It was I'm pretty sure Chicago, in order to deal with the book rights from Omni-Man, in order to get funds for her living. This is where we meet Super Patriot and his wife from the comic that we read before, Super Patriot. It's all coming together now, kids.
It's as I said before, last episode, it's the exact same like panels and everything.
It sure is. It sure is. And like I said last episode, that means we didn't have to read that issue. We just read this.
Listen,
it's too late now.
Listen,
make Mikey happy.
Nah,
you have to do it to make him happy.
And Mikey, when you're happy, I'm happy.
Good.
So
exactly.
It's all worthwhile.
We did have to read it because Super Patriot wasn't important. It was his wife that was the important part.
Yeah.
Why do you have to fucking read Super Patriot?
What? His wife's in this issue.
We didn't talk about her wife at all in Super Patriot. You're getting me on tangents on this guy. I knew it was gonna go on these tangents. But I love this comic so goddamn much.
This really is really good.
Yeah, I don't need to explain the interaction because you could just refer to our last episode for that.
Yeah.
But after the interaction, Mark's mom decides to console herself with Patriot's wife and start talking about, oh man, it's hard dating a superhero. Hey, can I tell you something? My husband is Omni-Man. And then they have a conversation off screen. We're gonna get back to it after Invincible. It's revealed that their plan was Invincible's gonna pretend like he's scared of the monster, so he doesn't have to fuck the fish. And he launches the Vizier at the monster, and one hit KOs that monster right over there. And you could see the lovely queen on the left-hand corner and the Vizier up front. After the Vizier defeats the monster.
Guys, I have to ask this. I have to ask this. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I usually don't. I know you really don't, but do it anyway.
Would you?
No!
Yes. I mean, no! What? Yeah, no, that's totally gross. What? Anyway. Would you, Matt?
You better fucking answer this.
What happens next?
All right. What
happens next?
Oh yeah, let me tell you what happens next. So they obviously get courted right in front of everyone. Invincible leaves to pick up his mom. And Invincible's mom was talking to Super Patriot's wife, and she explains that her husband's Omni-Man, and she's having a hard time with, I guess, breakup, for lack of a better term, whatever the fuck happened between them.
I guess they broke up. Like, technically, you're not wrong.
In actuality,
he also beat the shit out of her son and flew into space. But I guess that's a breakup.
Yeah, in layman's terms, that's a breakup. Yeah. So they confide in each other and they become good friends. And Mark gets his identity revealed to Super Patriot's wife because it's his mom and she has every right to tell any secret that she wants about her child because that's what moms do.
Which, when I read this issue, I was like, this just sounds like my mom. My mom would do that shit.
Fact.
So I was just like, good writing, I guess, because I could relate to that shit.
It's too close to home. Yeah. And that's how the comic ends, them flying off.
Actually, don't know. No, not really.
What am I missing?
Fam. You're missing a very important part.
What did I miss?
But the bit with Eve and Billy?
Oh, yeah! They broke, what is it? Fucking, I don't even remember. I don't know why I said, like, I remembered.
This one right here, boy.
Oh, yeah, this one.
I didn't think this was that big a deal, but yeah.
It's fun. It's funny.
It is funny.
It's a recurring joke that happens like a lot in this entire series, and it's for the most part, half of it, for the early parts of the series, and it's great.
I like it.
Yeah. So I mean,
I'm gonna be honest with you. Whenever it's just them, I kind of zone out.
Like, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
They're not. I don't think they're a very interesting couple together, and I kind of wish they would break up.
Me too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But
if only.
But just to say for our audience, obviously, if you can see here, he realizes that she's Adam Eve and is like, wait, so you can fly? She's like, yeah, of course I can fly. And then he lifts her up and is like, she says, as what Mark said, but when he lifted him up into the sky, this is so gay.
Gotta love recurring jokes. So thoughts on the issue?
Well, first of all, you said he realizes it. He doesn't really realize it. She has to tell him because he somehow didn't figure it out yet, which is
But that was so funny because she doesn't wear a mask.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought this issue was really great. I liked it a lot. This
It was really great choice to. Excuse me.
Excuse.
Excuse me again. It was a really great choice to have like a comedic comic right after that one because it was just so depressing. It was a nice breath of fresh air of it.
I
It was
agree.
absolutely great.
I agree, and I think the whole Aquaman parody bit. Sometimes sometimes I can be a little, I don't know, I guess cynical about superhero parodies, but I loved it. I thought it was great.
I
thought
love
it was
the
funny.
literal interpretation of like an Atlantean, essentially. Like, it's so funny. Like, it's too funny.
There's just
Like,
a fish.
why don't Outlandians look like that? Come on now.
I think it's kind of really charming. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Christian, this was probably your favorite issue, right? Because like Aquaman's your favorite superhero, correct?
No, I'm offended.
Right.
It's injustice to Aquaman. It insults him and it removes the seriousness. He is a valid hero, and no one respects him, and I hate it. It's bullshit. And they think fish boobs. Aquaman wouldn't fuck that fish.
Oh God, that was great. That was great.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, but overall, this was a pretty fun issue. I really enjoyed it. All right, so moving on to issue 16.
Yeah, issue 16.
We're gonna start. Here. Here's a really cool cover. With issue 16. So I'm gonna say this right now. This is probably my favorite issue in the entire episode, just because I know what this is about. But which I won't get into, obviously. But all right, so issue 16 starts with Invincible declaring that this world, that Earth is for Viltrum, and that they should all bow down before Omni-Man and him. You know, so they're basically he decided, you know what? Well, my dad was right. We're gonna take over the Earth for Viltrum. Viltrum all the way.
I knew it all along.
Exactly. It's terrible.
Yeah.
So then basically like it's a really cool page of him in Times Square and not doing his spiel. Then what happens is we see this man walking into an alleyway and into an alleyway into this underground headquarters where we see the Immortal and Robot. And essentially this man is revealed to be a guy named Armstrong Levy, who essentially who's basically like a smart dude who is, I think Robot stated that he is the second highest intellect in the world, like below Robot. And so then they're hatching a plan to, figure out like to stop Invincible and Omni-Man. Then they, out of nowhere, Invincible and Omni-Man barge through their base and decides to fucking kill them all. And essentially kills the Immortal. And I love what Omni-Man says in this panel right here. Says, don't worry, it doesn't matter if you can decide to decide to stop me in your next life, and just destroys and crushes his skull. And Invincible kills Robot. Armstrong Levy is in the corner in absolute fear, and then he's yanked by another version of himself. And turns out this isn't the main universe that we're used to. That was an alternate dimension.
Right.
Who would have guessed?
Who would have thought?
Yeah. What a twist! The superhero's not the bad guy.
Yeah.
Surprise.
But so then essentially this new Armstrong Levy brings the one that he just yanked into the main Invincible universe, where we see the war that took place during Red, White, Black, and Blue, which I thought was really cool. And we see essentially the Guardians of the Globe fighting the aliens that we saw in that one shot. And then I thought it was really funny, like they're saying, oh, like these guys are too easy to kill, like what Britt said. And they're like, this is taking too damn long. And then, as we know what happens. Kid Cosmic shows up, pulls a Captain Marvel in Endgame, and wrecks the whole fight. And then they're just like, like, why did that end? Why are they leaving so quick? Oh, I guess it ended. I mean, like, and like, I love what Robot says, like, but Immortal, like, did that ever happen? Did that ever happen to you in a superhero career? And he's like, never. And I thought that was great because I liked me seeing a familiar fight, but through the Guardians of the Globe's perspective, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, I thought that was neat. I also think Ryan Otley's art is amazing.
Yeah.
Like this page you have up on the screen now is gorgeous. I think looking at Invincible, it kind of reminds me of another character that I think would be really cool if Ryan Otley drew, and that is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be wild if he drew Spider-Man?
That would actually be sick. I mean, in my opinion, after reading all of Invincible, it feels like he was born to draw Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but no, this is a really dope page. I mean, who did the fight? I think Cliff Rathburn did the one for Red, White, Black, and Blue, and obviously looks way better here. So,
and was that book in black and white?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Because I do not remember these purple aliens, and now I think that's just because they're in black and white before.
Yeah, exactly.
They were purple. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, stop stream sharing. So then it cuts to Cecil and Donald. And remember last in Red, White, Black, and Blue, Donald was fucked up, and now it sees him like actually recovering, which that was really cool. Like getting patched up, and essentially Cecil was like, "I hated what happened today. We got fucking invaded. The Guardians of the Globe, the old Guardians of the Globe would have handled that way faster than the new ones. Things have to fucking change." And then essentially cuts back to Mark and his mom, and essentially like they're talking about like Mark essentially like dealing with like basically he has to go back to school. He wants to check out the school just to see what happened with the invasion, and obviously we found out that the school got fucking wrecked, and they're not gonna be able to have school for about a month, and it transitions from the house to the school, and we see Adam. Adam. What?
Before we continue with that, it was also hinted at with her mom. There's a lot of empty alcohol bottles in the trash.
Sorry, that was important.
Yeah.
There's a lot of empty alcohol bottles, and so
I wonder what that means.
Alcoholism? Who knows?
Never heard of it.
Yeah, but yeah, but then it cuts back. Oh, sorry, that was great. It cuts back to Mark meeting up with his friends, and they're talking about how like Amber hasn't really seen him in a while because she's noticing him like dipping in and out of situations with the beeper, and she's getting a little suspicious. And while they're chatting with his friends and saying how like, damn, the school probably won't be open for a month, which is great. We get a 5 week break, but at the same time like we needed 2 weeks left to graduate, which sucks. So, but then I love how fucking William, and I don't know who's this dude's name. I think it's Adam or something. I think his name Chadwick. His name's Chadwick. So Chadwick.
I don't know, Mikey. These characters mean nothing to me.
Yeah, his name is Chad. They decide to like raid the school. Like William tries to get his like CD player, and like Chad tries to get something else. I think it's like
to steal printer paper.
Yeah, tries to steal printer paper for his own printer at home. Yeah. Oh, that was funny. Like, would y'all do that if like
yes, of course.
Yes. Okay,
I do that now. I mean,
all right. So then
also real quick. I really like Amber. I think she's sweet, and I think she's cute, and I like her a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
I know Mark's gonna end up with Eve. Obviously, obviously, Mark will end up with Eve.
Ridiculous. What do you mean? I have no idea what you're talking about.
She's obviously with William, and they're clearly happy together.
Oh yeah, they are in love, and they are perfect for each other all the time, forever.
Exactly.
But I don't know. I like Amber. I think she's cute.
Yeah, she's great. I mean, you can really tell that like she really does care about Mark, like for his well-being, and trying to be like a good support system after like this stuff with his dad, which she clearly doesn't know the actual real issue about, but it's great.
Right.
That you guys have a very good perspective. When I read it, I just thought she was like nosy and annoying, but when you explain it, I guess I'm the asshole.
I guess.
Yeah, because like legit, like you explained when she was, I'm not gonna spoil it, but when she was talking about being worried about him, I was just like, shut up, you're stupid. Just do the thing. You're just interrupting the superhero stuff because that's what I always feel like whenever couples happen it's like, oh yeah, she's just gonna interrupt the superhero stuff, and I don't get to see any action for like the next couple of scenes.
Oh my gosh.
Fuck her. And then you guys explain it's like, oh yeah, that is what a nice person would do in that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay. So after William and Chad commit a felony, it transitions to Cecil going to the Gardens of the Globe and being like, okay, y'all fucked up. Shit needs to change. Literally, the Gold Gardens of the Globe would not have let that invasion happen for too long. Y'all suck. Even though you guys are doing a better job than we think you're doing, you need to change. So, Robot, you're fucking fired. You can stay on the team because you do have that intelligence edge on the team, and you can decide to stay if you want. And then it does those transition panels with Robot, and it basically said Robot's deciding to stay. The next part I think is so funny. we come back to the Pentagon again, to Demon Rorschach.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Because I remember, like, in the last episode with the main story, I think episode 4, episode 4, the first episode, I don't really remember, but like he wanted to figure out who killed the Guardians of the Globe, and the fact that he was still on the case, even though we clearly know, is so funny.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, but he has a banner with the secretary, and he's like, okay, I want to talk to Cecil about the case involving the Guardians of the Globe. I figured out who did it. And she's like, you fucking idiot, we already know who did it. It's Omni-Man. And he's just like, what? Like, and just walks away and grunts. But I think it's funny. It's a very funny satire on, like, Rorschach, I think, because Rorschach's the homeless man who doesn't, like,
have a TV.
Doesn't have access to cable.
Yeah, over internet, because literally everywhere.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Okay, but then it cuts back to Eve, Adam, Eve, and Invincible. They're basically charged with doing cleanup duty of the invasion, like dealing with wreckage and stuff like that. Which is what I forgot to mention in when he was talking with his mom earlier. Like, they're talking about how like they were gonna do the mission cleaning up, and she was just like, "Well, why not just clean up the high school?" It's like, Mom, why that we would get people would figure out who we are if we did that. Like, you know, I think it's very true. So they basically, like, they're cleaning up this wreckage, and then they come across another Invincible character that we have seen in Capes and in the first issue of Invincible, which is this boy named Titan right here. And essentially they see him about to, like, what it looks like, rob a run down, like, broken jewelry store, which I think is what he was doing. I don't know if it was really clear, but yeah, basically, like, they catch him coming out of the jewelry store. Invincible knocks his fucking armor off of his face. He disfigured this man again, and then basically was like, whoa. Was like, dude, you should be helping people. You should be like helping us with the wreckage. Come on now, like, you don't have to be freaking like stealing stuff out of a jewelry store, like whatnot. He's like, okay, yeah, true. I'll help you out. He's like, really? It's like, yeah. So he decides to help him out and take the record, clean up the record. I think is really cool. And then it cuts back to Armstrong Levy and Armstrong Levy 2. And essentially, he was saying is like, I don't know, like the one that he just took from the other dimensions, is wondering like why he's here, like what's going on, and essentially Armstrong Levy 2 essentially saying that, like, I have these dimensional jumping powers. I'm the only one in the multiverse who has these. I've been collecting a bunch of Armstrong Levies to help me with this certain experiment that I want to work on. And it then cuts to the last page where we see the Council of Armstrong Levies.
And Cowboy Levy.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Cowboy Levy.
I like his hat.
I really love this last page because basically it's just essentially Ryan Otley experimenting with different styles. Like, how can I tweak this character a little bit but still keep him like the same, which I love.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're basically we're a bunch of these guys that have been taken from these other dimensions, and that's basically what's happening, and it's very cool. So, thoughts on issue 16?
I've been really liking the comedy in these comics.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's been really good.
I think this issue was pretty good. It's clearly setting something up with Levy. It doesn't really get paid off yet as far as the stuff we've read.
Yeah.
So like, I'm sure looking back, he's probably super cool. Right now, it's like, all right, it's cool. I like it.
Because
it's funny.
Yeah, the thing is, like, with Armstrong Levy, like, Robert Kirkman, like, takes his time to sprinkle him in issue by issue. Like, so we're not gonna get a lot of it, but, like, his plan will be revealed, like, his character will develop and, like, what's going on will be developed later on, but he, like, sprinkles it in every time, which I love. Like, he takes his time with it, essentially.
I think that's really cool. I think it's a really good way to set up a villain.
Dude, I'm just gonna tell you this right now.
I guess I'm assuming he's a villain. We don't really know that for certain.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah. Like, fuck, did I not read it well enough? How the fuck did he know?
I mean, we clearly don't know now, but I'm just gonna tell you this right now. He's one of my favorite, like, characters in Invincible. And he's a
villain, though, right? Like, he had a council of himself. The only people who does that, are supervillains and Reed Richards, who's the basically still a supervillain.
Exactly. So
actually, you guys, this is not at all a supervillain plot. It's just a kinky thing that he likes to do.
Oh.
Yeah. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, it ain't gay if it's with yourself.
The thing that. But the thing that this is setting up is honestly one of my favorite, like, events in Invincible, and there's a lot of cool shit that happens in this entire series. It's personally my favorite. So, like, I personally really love this issue, like, just so I know what happens. But I'm just biased. But anyway, we cut to issue 17, and I will also pull up the screenshot for that as well. Because
this cover is really cool. I like it.
I love the cover for this.
The cover is it's so simple, and I love it.
Yeah. So basically, essentially, just from the cover alone, it's essentially the graduation issue of this series, and I really liked it a lot. So essentially, it cuts to Amber and Mark. They just went off. They had a date. They just came back from a movie. And essentially, I love this banter. Like, I like their banter. Essentially, they're like talking about what they thought of the movie. Mark thinks it's great. She thinks it's not that great. And I just love that banter that they have. And it's so real to me. Like, it's a very, like, real couple banter, and I think it's very cute.
Happy you mentioned that, because, like, a lesser author, I think they just go, like, straight into backstory stuff. Be like, oh yeah, 2 or 3 words about the movie and moving on. But no, in reality, they'd be talking about it for a while, even in, like, the car ride or afterwards.
She's just like, come on, Mark. You really, like, listen, the characters were great, but the plot was weak, and the ending wasn't really an ending. I'm just like, this is such a real banter, like, that you would have for a couple. So, yeah, essentially, like, they decide to, Mark is hungry, but, like, Mark wants to go to the milkshake. There's a place called Shake Deluxe that he loves to go to that makes the best milkshakes. She wants to go to the Burger Mart, but, like, I don't know if we mentioned this before, and when Christian was explaining, but, like, when he was with William and Eve and Chad and Amber, they got into a dispute with the manager of the Burger Mart because Mark quit, and this guy basically has a vendetta against him because he's an asshole. So
yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so he essentially is like, let's not go to the Burger Mart. I had a dispute there that I did not like and don't want to have again. So Shake Deluxe it is, and I love this because it's so cute. Like, they're just so cute, and it's just like,
such couple goals. I love them so much.
Like, they're just enjoying it. Like, they're just enjoying their milkshakes, and they're essentially just like. She's just saying, like, how cute Mark is, and he's like, we mean cute, but, like, I'm more ruggedly handsome. And she's just like, you need to have face hair to be ruggedly handsome, Mark. And he's just like, you know what? I think I could rock a good mustache. Foreshadowing.
No, don't tell me it's a pedo stash.
No. No. He doesn't. No. The thing with the stash, if for our audience who doesn't remember, and if y'all don't remember, because clearly you don't, the Viltrumites, they all have all the Viltrumite men have mustaches.
Yeah.
So
I didn't notice that.
Really? It was
I know his dad does. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I know his dad does.
Yeah. like in
Wow, how did I not notice that?
yeah, in when we talked about like his backstory and stuff twice, yeah, like all the obviously the audience couldn't see because we didn't have visual aids, but like yeah, all the Viltrumites have mustaches, all the men.
Huh.
So that's like that's a little joke, a little foreshadow joke, I guess. So then they have this date, and essentially like the date ends while Amber's dropping Mark back home, and I love this part where she's like, "How do you do this without having a car?" And it's like, I make it happen. You can fly. and and this is where like essentially basically like they're walking is like you can like hang out with me if you want. We can like go up to my room. We're not gonna do anything. Like we're not gonna do anything. I'm a gentleman. I, we're not gonna have sex. Like that's not gonna happen. And then she's like, don't like it's probably we're not gonna do that, Mark. Like let's keep it. Let's just keep it real. It's like like, that's cool. So then they go to the room. He goes into the living room and check on his mom, and his mom is sleeping and with clearly like hitting the bottle, and it's just it sucks. It's so sad.
It's really sad.
She's got 2 bottles of something next to her. I think both of them are empty.
I think it's bourbon.
Yeah, I think it's bourbon.
It's daddy juice.
Bottle.
It's daddy soda. Only for daddy.
Daddy soda.
Not for kids, only for daddy.
And yeah, like and Mark literally was like, yeah, is it cool that we not like my mom's sleeping? She lies to Amber saying, my mom's sleeping. I don't want to wake her up. Do you mind if we go to the backyard? It's like, yeah, that's fine. And it's just like, damn, like she's clearly going through it. And essentially they go back to the backyard, they start sitting down, and then they share a kiss, and it's very sweet. And essentially she was honestly like, Mark, I honestly regret not like letting things go a little further, but it's getting late anyway. We have school tomorrow. So then they both leave, and it cuts to the detention facility where we see the Mahler twins after they got their ass handed to them by the Immortal. In the issues that Chris was talking about. I don't know if you mentioned that either.
Almost figure out which one was the twin and which one was the clone.
Yeah. Yeah, literally like in what was it, issue 14 or issue 14, they're trying to figure out which one, like we got this device that could finally tell us which one is the clone and which one isn't. Then the Immortal's like, no.
It legit bothered me because I really wanted to know.
Yeah.
Like, Immortal, can you like wait? Can you not destroy the machine?
Yeah. So
we're never gonna find out, are we?
I don't remember.
Not. I sincerely doubt it.
They're both clones.
We'll see.
They're both clones.
That would be wild if they were like they're both the clones. But yeah, but like essentially like in the issue in that confrontation with Immortal, I love this part where they're like, why are you trying to fight us? We're the ones who put you back together. Be fucking grateful. And he was like, and he's basically like, I'll show you how grateful I'm gonna be. Then it cuts. And then this is the aftermath of that. They got their ass handed to them and they're in prison. And then so essentially they're sitting in the detention facility for like where all the supervillains are, and then Angstrom Levy comes in with his dimension hopping powers, and essentially is like, hey guys, y'all don't want to be here. I'm working on a little experiment, so either you can stay or you can get the hell out of here and help me. They look at him and like, yeah, we're getting the fuck out of here. So then they just get through the portal, and essentially Armstrong takes them to another dimension where like a nuclear holocaust happened, and they thought that like it was the aftermath of the invasion that they heard about because they weren't there for that. And essentially it's like, no, this is just people got nukes and then an accident happened and like half of like most of the North American continent got fucking wrecked. So that's what this is. Nukes are bad. But then I love how he basically explains his powers and essentially like the way his dimension hopping powers work, he can't like it's not really teleporting. Essentially, like he had them. It's if anyone can help me.
Want me to explain? So like, it's kind of like a door in between dimensions, but the space that you are in this dimension is going to be the dimension equivalent to that space in the other dimension. Yeah. So let's say if he if he dimension hops at the White House, he's going to be in a different dimension's White House.
Yeah.
He'll be in that point in space in that dimension.
Exactly. which I think is really cool. I don't know if like comics have ever done that type of thing before.
They probably did, but it was never talked about. As far as I
think
know.
no, I think technically that's how Nightcrawler's powers work.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure every time he teleports, he actually travels through a hell dimension.
Yeah, he goes through a hell dimension. Yeah, but
Yeah,
like
and I think it's the same deal. I think it's the same deal where he pops into that hell dimension at that point in space, and then he pops back out at a different point, and that's how he teleports. I think.
Okay.
I think that's how it works. But I could be
but
wrong.
like obviously he can't go to another place. He just goes to that similar space in that other dimension for Armstrong. Yeah. Armstrong.
Yeah, that's how superpower works.
Yeah. So
it's not quite the same thing, but it's the closest I can think of.
Yeah, I get you. I mean, I get the comparison. But yeah, but while he's explaining this, he basically like marked an X where the van he parked in the main dimension is, and then they hop through a portal, another dimension hopping portal, and then they're in that's where the van was in the main dimension. I thought it was very cool. That he has to mark where his places are when he's hopping. I think it's so cool.
Yeah,
So then essentially he's like, here's my van, and he's like, essentially I'm going to take you to my lab where I'll explain more of what I want to do, what my plans are, and how you guys can help me. And then essentially it transitions to Mark back at school, back at his last 2 weeks of school. And I love this shit because they're essentially in a history class and like that. And he's like, you know what? The teacher's like, you know what, guys? Instead of us doing work because, we all took 5-week vacation, blah, 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 and you guys are going to be graduating anyway, so let's watch a fucking movie, which is what happens when you're in your last 2 weeks of your senior year, just watch films, just cuz. And essentially, like, they started watching, Gladiator, which I've never seen Gladiator before. I don't know.
Really?
Never seen it, no. I've heard, I know about it, but I've never seen Gladiator with Russell Crowe.
Gladiator's a pretty good movie.
I mean, it's on the list.
It was a pretty good flick.
Are you lying?
No, Gladiator pretty good.
Okay.
Are we really going to be talking about Gladiators?
But anyway,
Russell Crowe's in it. Hans Zimmer does the score, and I don't like Hans Zimmer. But it's a good movie. What?
No, I kind of want to hear what he has to say. Is this our movie channel now? We're making a movie.
It's still the Invincible. This is still the Indie Corner Brothers Invincible. All right, so transition back to so that they exit, him and Amber exit class, and then they come across William and Eve. And William's like, yo, Mark, we did in chemistry class. We watched a movie. It's like, yeah, William, we did the exact same thing in ours. Isn't it wild?
I love how he's so hyped about it, even though everyone did it.
Exactly.
William.
And I love this. I love these panels essentially because William is having more of a conversation with Amber and Mark and leaving Eve in the sidelines, which hints at she's not liking this and being very distant towards her and isn't liking that, and the relationship isn't really going that well.
Yeah.
In her eyes. And essentially it transitions back to Mark and his mom, and his mom's essentially saying that talking with Mark, and essentially just Mark essentially saying he's still not really used to his dad not being there, but his mom was just saying Mark, listen, we're all gonna be, me and you are agreed, we're in a bad place right now, but it's time to move on, which I think is very like that, because since Claire, who was Super Patriot's wife, is really having an influence on her, giving her someone to talk to, who's helping her move on. And he's like, yeah, Mom, I guess you're right. But then when he's throwing away his food, essentially he opens the trash can and sees more bottles in there, and which is damn, she's saying let's move on, but she's still gonna be hitting that bottle. And then literally I love this because Mark literally started having a look at her, and she's like, Mark, stop, I'm literally, it's helping me sleep, it's helping me relax. I'm the adult. You can't look at me like that. I'm the one who tells you what to do. You don't tell me what to do. And Mark's still looking at her, and it's just like, Mom, I gotta go. Kisses her and just leaves. Which I love. Essentially, just that's how an alcoholic would talk, saying that it's saying that it's having these it's helping me relax, it's helping me cope and sleep. But in reality, it's not. And I love that. It's such good writing.
It's very real.
Very real. And then then it transitions Mark on his mission, and essentially sees there's something happening in New York. I think it's New York. Yeah, it's New York. And essentially, like, the Capes Incorporated guys are in trouble, and they need some backup. But we want you to basically end this fast because the invasion left a lot of property damage and a lot of property damage. We want you to minimize that as much as possible. So your best bet. He's like, yeah, sure. So cuts to the Cape Incorporated guys, and I'm like, yeah, Capes Incorporated. And and we see Bolt, we see Kid Thor, Commander Capitalism, and essentially they're facing that villain Christian, that Hulk dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Hulk guy.
Why did you mention my name? Did I make a comment about him?
No, but like we thought he was funny because essentially this Hulk villain is essentially like, I forget his name's like Doctor something, and he's essentially like his backstory with his powers is that his wife got into an accident which made her be immortal, and he loved her so much and she wasn't aging, so he wanted to do the same thing so they could be together, but it backfired. It became this deranged Hulk and became like disgusting and like indestructible, and he has like sped up healing, but it affects his brain and makes him like very feral and beastly. So that every time someone looks at his wife, well, his ex-wife now, every time someone looks at his ex-wife, he goes into a berserker rage and has to like kill that person, and it's so fucking funny.
So he's a simp.
It's a parody on the Hulk.
He's a Hulk simp.
It's a parody on the Hulk. I think it's a parody on the Hulk and Bruce Banner's dynamic with Betty, essentially.
Okay. He also looks just visually a lot like the Absorbing Man.
He does, but yeah,
the Absorbing Man.
Yeah.
Do you know the Absorbing Man?
No, I do not, but I'm going to look him up right now.
Yeah, he's a Marvel villain. He's actually, I think he's primarily a Hulk villain.
He is.
He has a football-shaped head like that, and his power is that he can like change his body into the material of whatever he touches.
Christian, he's basically Kevin 11 in Ben 10.
Oh,
there was one time where he turned himself into cocaine, and that coke dealer sold him.
What?
And then a bunch of people snorted him and got high off of him.
All right.
And he exploded out of their faces.
All right. Well, also, Christian, fun fact: Crusher Krill fought Matt Murdock's dad like in a boxing match, like before he became.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Part of Daredevil's backstory.
The last fight that Matt Murdock's dad had before he was killed was with Absorbing Man.
I get Daredevil, but his dad? What the actual fuck?
Because Daredevil's dad was a boxer.
Daredevil's dad was a boxer.
He fought his dad in the ring.
I knew he was a boxer. It's just like it's not brought up that. I mean, it's brought up, but it's just like when did he fight supervillains?
No, it was before he had powers.
Okay.
And anyway, moving on.
Fair enough. A Hulk villain.
Yeah, but anyway,
I like Absorbing Man a lot. I think he's neat.
Yeah, I just checked out images of him.
He's cool.
I see it. I see the football head.
Anyway, ball and chain that he hits people with.
Yeah.
His wife.
He likes Absorbing Man, Mikey.
I understand, but we have to keep going. But
that's true.
Anyway, they fight Bootleg Absorbing Man because which is an aftermath of the Capes miniseries. Commander Capitalism is fucking dating his ex-wife and is getting pummeled by this man, and I think it's so fucking funny. It's so fucking funny. So Invincible comes in, intervenes, helps them out, and he's also like getting his ass kicked because this guy's actually pretty strong, and I love this part. He's like, so how long can this guy hold his breath? And Bolt's like, what? Never mind. And shoots and lifts this man up into space till he like suffocates and like passes out, and then brings him back down. And I thought it was so funny.
Yeah.
And I love what Bolt says, like, thank God for superheroes and space. And essentially that happens. And I love Commander Capitalism. He's just on a gurney, and he's basically just like his Holly, I think is the girl he's dating. His name is like he's basically just like, and Bull was like, you really are gonna risk your life every fucking time for that just to date that woman? He's like, are you kidding me? A woman that looks like that and doesn't fucking age? Of course that's fucking worth it. And it's just like I thought it was funny banter. So Invincible leaves, and it cuts back to the graduation starting. His principal's giving his speech. He arrives late, and his principal basically says, "I'm proud of you all. You've all come a long way. this is actually going to be my last year as principal. You know, because I think it's time for me to just move on and maybe I think either he's retiring or he's moving up into like a more in the education system. I think I don't know. And I found this very funny because this was what the same thing happened to my principal when I graduated. If Christian remembers, when we graduated, our principal also left. Our principal was also gone.
What'd you say?
And it's I said it's funny because when we graduated, our principal also left. Like he was already gone at that time. So I thought it was very funny.
Yeah.
So then Mark comes in late, gets a black comes in with a black eye, which he got from the fight. And then essentially he's then eventually like and Amber looks at him all suspicious. Because you know she's being very skeptical of like where Mark's going all the time and why he's always late and that beeper. And then essentially they call their names. They call Chad's name. They call Amber's name, William's name, Eve's name, and then it cuts to Mark's name, and his full name is Marcus Sebastian Grayson. And then William's like Sebastian, and then
like a gent.
And then has a cool page of Mark lifting up his diploma, and then they do the typical thing when you graduate, you throw up your hats up in the air. But like I love this page so much because fucking Mark just yeets this thing. He just yeets this thing in the air, and I think it's so fucking funny. I'm gonna share it with you all right now. And yeah, he yeets this thing, and it's the last page, and he just says, "Oh crap," and the book ends. So
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's so my thoughts on this issue, I thought it's a very like chill issue, very much like a quick breather from what we saw before. Where it has recurring characters from Capes remind you all that like it's still in the same universe, and he graduates high school, and it's great. And very cute moments with him and Amber and his friends and stuff.
Yeah,
Thoughts?
I like it.
Thoughts? No?
Closing thoughts? I got nothing.
You have nothing?
Not really. There's not much to say. It's a fun issue. It's good. It's cute. Yeah. It's fun. And it's good and it's cute.
Yeah. All I could think about was the scientific accuracy for launching what's his name, football head into space.
Yeah.
Pretty accurate. Apparently, I talked to you guys about it before. Like your body expands just because all the liquids in your body begin to boil in the vacuum of space because like there's nothing keeping it together. Yeah, right. It's fucking gross. But like your skin, since it's elastic, it'll hold it in. So basically, you're just kind of like a balloon of goop vapor. So yeah, drag me out of this and move to the next one, man.
Did you say the words balloon of goop vapor?
Yeah, it's gross. That's what kills you, not the lack of oxygen, the presence of your blood boiling.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's funny you say that, Christian, because Matt, are we gonna go to space in this next issue?
Y'all, we're gonna go to space.
What?
Here we go.
Nerd shit was relevant.
Exactly.
And talking about Invincible number 18, and this one, the boy Mark goes off to Mars.
And I love this cover.
The cover is beautiful. It's a really cool cover. And I think this might be my favorite issue we've read so far.
I wonder why, man.
Is this one or 15? And I am a little biased because we'll get to it. So this issue opens up with Mark saving a woman and her child, and it doesn't really impact anything. It's a nice little scene of a superhero being a superhero, and I like it a lot. And then we go to William and Eve and Amber, and they're all hanging out at the Burger Mart. And Amber's really worried about Mark. She's like, "Man, Mark's such a flake, and he's always running away. And I think he's a drug dealer
because he has that beeper.
He has the beeper.
No one has a beeper
except drug dealers."
And William and Eve think that's hilarious because I mean it's kind of funny. And then Mark shows up, but the beeper goes off, and he goes, "Ah, shit! Something came up. I gotta go," and he takes off.
And she's like, "Why is you guys laughing? Why is this so funny to you?" Because obviously they know what's happening.
Right. And he goes to talk to Cecil, And Cecil tells him that he has to go to Mars. I promise you the good reason for it, but I didn't actually read this page because I couldn't be bothered, so I don't know what it was.
Okay.
No, we're not.
His reason is for just to make sure that like the ship gets there safely, and he doesn't really want. He wants it to be discreet because he doesn't want like them to know that like they were aided by a superhero in order to go to Mars. So
yeah, they want to make
all it is.
It's I mean it's not all that is, but like it's gonna be revealed later why. But
Okay.
Yeah.
So he goes into space. There's this great single page splash of the rocket taking off.
Mm-hmm.
The shuttle actually, but whatever.
Yeah,
and
I want to interrupt. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. You guys cool with that?
no,
just pee right here.
Okay.
Yeah, get out of here. Go.
Okay.
Go.
The shuttle takes off, and Mark is hanging off the side of it, or the back of it, and he also talks a whole lot.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Armstrong.
Levy. Just say Angstrom. Just say Angstrom or Levy, whatever. Yeah.
Angstrom Levy has the Molar twins, and he's like, "Now listen, when I dimension hop, I really don't know that much about the dimension I'm hopping into. So, that's why I've got all of these guys. They know about the dimensions they're from, and I need you to take what's in their head and put it into mine." And the Molar twins are like, "All right, we'll do it."
Like, word? Like, they're just like, word?
Yeah.
Like, they just agree. I think it's so funny. They don't even question it.
They're just down. Which, I guess, do they? I don't. Are they scientists? Do they know how to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember very much about them.
Yeah, because
that's right. Because they cloned. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, because they're cloned, and then like they were stealing arcade boxes like in the early issues. So like they have scientific aptitude. They're scientists.
Meanwhile, Mark tries to eat a sandwich in space, but he can't.
I'm pulling that up right now because I love that page so much.
It's a great page.
Right here.
Yeah.
It's so delightful. It's fun.
And Christian was telling us before this we started like how inaccurate this is when it comes to space. I was
thinking that it was inaccurate, but like when you guys like now I'm not 100% sure. Now I was thinking about it.
I don't know. You're probably right.
I mean, I think it's somewhat accurate.
Yeah, because the thing is, just in space, when we call it boiling, just because like the particles are just separating because there's no gravity keeping it together.
Okay. Yeah,
right?
That makes sense.
So that's why I think it would dehydrate rather than freeze.
Rather than freeze.
Right. Yeah.
I think you're probably right.
Again, the reason why we boil is just because we had heat initially.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the energy knocking all the particles in your body around. So that's what makes it boil. Just because we're not going to get into it. Continue, please. Yeah. Sorry.
So Titan goes and talks to the Riddler and a robot man named Machine Head.
Yeah.
And they're like, "We're disappointed in you." And Titan goes, "Yeah, I'm sorry." And they're like, "Shape up." And then he leaves. They're going to become relevant later, I guess.
It will.
So meanwhile, our friend Marcus and the astronauts arrive on Mars. And the astronauts all get imprisoned by the Martians. I love the Martians. They're very clearly, just like the fish people are parodies of Aquaman, these guys are parodies of Martian Manhunter. I love Martian Manhunter.
We know, Matt.
Martian Manhunter is my favorite comic book characters. So that's why I love this issue, because of the Martians. So Martin takes the astronauts, and Mark goes, "Well, I gotta go find them astronauts." And he gets into their base, and he's attacked by a bunch of calamari.
And
electric calamari.
They're electric calamari. And then the Martians come up, and they get rid of the calamari, and they're like, "Here, come on, we're gonna have you talk to our leader." And they have this great little back and forth where Mark's like, "Hey, are you guys speaking English?" And the Martians go, "What's English?"
What's English?
which is
so great.
very funny.
For our audience, these calamari things are called the sequids.
Yes.
Sequids. Or I say sequids, but it's whatever.
Probably sequence. They're the Martian master, the Martian big boy, the Martian
Big boy.
I don't know what his title is. The Prime Minister of Mars.
The chieftain of Mars.
He talks to Mark and he's like, so he explains the sequence. They've been here for hundreds of years, and they latch onto people and like take over their minds. I think, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they essentially turn people into slaves.
Yeah.
And the reason they took Mark is because the sequids couldn't latch onto him, and they're like, "Hey, why couldn't the sequids get you?" And Mark's like, "Well, I'm not a human. I'm a Viltrumite from Viltrum, and my skin's like real tough." And the Martians have never heard of Viltrum.
Yeah.
So Mark's like, "All right. Anyway, I gotta get back. So how about you give me those guys, and we'll leave." And the Martian and the Prime Minister of Mars is like, "No, we're gonna execute them." Mark breaks them out, and I don't know if you grabbed this page or not. There's this great single page with Mark and the astronauts running from all these Martians.
Yeah, it's right here.
Yes, it's so great. I love this page.
Yeah.
Me too.
This is yeah. You know what, guys? This is my favorite issue so far.
Yeah, we know, man.
We know,
bro.
It's so fun. There's this great page with Mark fighting astronauts and not the astronauts, the Martians. And the astronauts are like, just keep running. And they get to the shuttle and they take off and they go home. And the astronauts like, oh man, I can't believe we got out of there alive, you know? And then it cuts back to Mars and they left one of them behind. And he's covered in sequins and his eyes are all black. But that guy was also on the shuttle.
Mm-hmm.
How did that happen?
Dun dun dun.
We'll find out in the next issue, number 19. But for now, 18. Guys, what did you think? I loved it.
It is fun.
Oh yeah.
It's so much
It's really
fun.
fun. Like, it's really fun.
What was
And-
the deal that like the Martians couldn't get attached by it because
like they're shape-shifting like makes them incompatible because they can just like shape-shift.
How the fuck does that make sense? What the fuck? They take over their mind and they just shape shift. They're just like, oh, you don't take over my mind anymore.
Because they can change their forms and they need a body that doesn't fucking shift. So like, why not? Latch onto.
I mean, I guess like think about it like this. If I bit your wrist,
okay,
and you could change your body, you could just move your body away from my mouth so I don't bite your wrist. I think it's the same deal.
That's a valid point. But then I also thought, let's say I've you bite my wrist,
Yeah,
and then I turn into, let's say, a dolphin. How the fuck does that change anything? You already bit my fucking wrist. You're already on there, and it's too late.
Well, because here's the thing, it's not quite shapeshifting. It's like Martian Manhunter, where he can like.
Oh,
it's not like he can transform to other things. Although
Can he go intangible?
Yeah,
What?
he could go intangible, right?
Can he go like intangible and like face through stuff?
Yeah,
he can. But also like it's almost like his body is made out. It's like Sandman, kind of. In fact, it's exactly like Sandman.
Oh, word.
Okay.
Where he can like move his. He can like change his proportions and shit. He's like a stronger Sandman, kind of. I hope that makes sense.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, which is I think is interesting because like the Martians refer to humans as solids.
Yes.
Like all these solids.
Yes, that's a good point. They're not solid.
Yeah.
So they're liquid.
In a way.
They're liquid boys.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think this issue is very fun. I mean, it teases the sequids and stuff like that because as I already was saying this off before we started the podcast, the fucking sequids terrify me. I don't like them. I think granted because I know what happened, but like just this panel alone is just terrifying.
This page is bone chilling. I love it. It's
Oh God.
I feel nothing. Maybe because I already got taken over by calamari, but I feel nothing from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
guys, no, try it. It's not that bad. Join us. Join the horde. It's pretty cool, man. They got
join the calamari horde.
Join the calamari gang. Gang.
Yeah, well, so we're gonna figure out this whole what the situation is about in the next issue, right, Matt?
Yeah, let's do it, dude. Invincible number 19.
Wow.
Also has a pretty neat cover. You've got Mark there with Titan, and I like Titan. I think Titan's cool.
Me too. Yeah.
This issue opens up with one of the astronauts. Well, all the astronauts came back to Earth, and one of them is this dude named Russ. And Russ is acting pretty weird. He goes to get his mail, and the whole time he's repeating his name, going Russ, Russ, Russ. And then he turns his thumb into a key to open up his mailbox. And he gets his mail, and he goes up into his room, and he turns back into a Martian. Replaced. And that's the last we see of him this issue, I believe. I'm very excited to see where this goes. I'm very excited to see where it goes. Meanwhile, William and Eve wake up, and it's great. William's downstairs, and he's like, hey, baby, will you sleep on the couch for? We could have gone to my bed. You could have slept with me last night. We could have had fun. And he goes, no. I can't do this anymore.
Be gone, you simp.
I don't like you.
Be gone.
Be gone.
Deputy William.
I need a man. An invincible man.
Meanwhile, Mark goes and wakes up his mom, and she's like, oh, I'm drunk. And he's like, yeah, I know. It's like, you really slept in. It's lunchtime. And he's like, I'll be back for dinner. I love you. And then he leaves because he's going to get lunch with Amber. And this time, Amber's late, which is a little different. But not much happens because Mark's beeper goes off, and he's got a dipture. He goes and he runs into Titan. And Titan's like, listen, dude, I need your help. He's trying to take down Machine Head.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Machine Head is a guy from last issue who's hanging out with the Riddler.
He was also called Isotope.
His name's he looks like the Riddler, but his name's Isotope. Why? I don't fucking know. He's nuclear, I guess.
I don't know.
I don't know. But I actually forgot. Like, honestly.
Yeah. But Titan bursts out of his armor, and he's just a dude, and he's cool, and I like him.
Yeah.
And he explains a whole lot about Machine Head. And
you want me to just
like
explain
before? It? Sorry.
You want me to just explain it? If you don't want to explain it, I can.
Yeah, but no. Like I said, listen. Every once in a while, when I was reading this shit, I would turn a page and I'd see something with all that text, and I go, "It probably doesn't matter," and I just skip it. Like,
if it didn't matter, why do you have to use all of these texts?
Does it matter?
It actually does.
All right, Mikey, tell me about it then.
Well, essentially, just quick rundown. Machine Head's just a gangster who runs essentially biggest crime organization in the Invincible universe, and he has ties. He buys off the police so they don't touch him. He's untouchable, and he does many exports drugs, weapons, all that other stuff. So
he's the kingpin.
He's like the Magia. Is that a good example? Is that a good reference?
He sounds like Kingpin.
Yeah. Okay. Essentially, yeah, he's basically Kingpin.
Or I guess it could be Magia. He could be, who wants the Magia? Tombstone?
I think so. Tombstone. Yeah, he's essentially the Kingpin. Kingpin's actually a better version of what comparison. Kingpin, Tombstone type of character. All right.
Christian, do you know who Tombstone is? I can tell you about Tombstone.
Oh no.
I know about Tombstone.
I
watched Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
I don't like that ashy motherfucker. I don't like him.
You don't like Tombstone?
He needs some fucking cocoa butter. That's what he needs.
Let the man be ashy on his own. You don't need to judge him.
So Mark picks up Titan, and they're flying away. And Titan tells him more stuff. I said so much. I'm sorry.
He says things.
There's so much text.
It just happened.
He's just saying that like Invincible's Mark saying like you should really like join the Guardians of the Globe, like you can use your powers for good. And he's like, you know what? Nah, I don't want to go straight. Why the hell would I do that? Being a criminal's fun. I don't need like y'all have to worry about like us villains killing y'all. So like I like where I'm at. So
Which
that's
is a valid point.
Yeah.
I gotta say.
See, but like I'm just I don't want to belabor the point because I complain about it so much. But like you just summed that up in like 3 sentences. Why did you need all these words? And I don't want to sound like somebody who's like, I don't know. I know how to read, guys. I enjoy reading. Like
must be nice.
Matt, you're an English major and you can't handle long words of text.
It's so much.
You have
nothing happening. It's such a waste of space and handling.
In all honesty, I'm with Matt on this one. Specifically on this, I really didn't care about the information that was given, but it had to be given at some point, just for future reference, I guess, for character development.
Yeah, but he does also say that like he would consider joining. Like he thinks it's a good gig, the Guardians of the Globe.
And then Titan's like, and hey, by the way you're carrying me, and Mark's like, yeah, I know, don't worry about it.
It's gay.
It's yeah. So they
what?
So they bash through the window. They bash through the window into Machine King's, not his name, Machine Head's.
There you go.
I combined him with Kingpin by accident into Machine Head's office, and he's standing there with the dope, and then they introduce the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. There's these six nobodies, including Furnace. I think we've seen Furnace before, right?
Furnace, we have, yeah.
I don't remember him at all, apparently.
We literally just talked about him in the last episode. He showed up.
We did, and during that episode, Mikey said we've seen him before, and you said we did?
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I don't think that's on me. I think that's just on the character.
Furnace showed up in capes, and then he showed up in the summer special that we talked about yesterday. I mean, not last week.
He showed up in what? In what?
In capes. He showed up briefly in capes, and then he showed up again in the Image summer special, like in the Invincible story. Invincible literally fought him in the beginning.
Not ringing any bells.
What?
But I'll take your word for it.
But
so anyway, the Sinister Six fights Invincible and Titan.
Who are these guys? Okay, so I just want to like run down real quick who these guys are. So
why? And my question: why do they ever come back?
Besides the Lion, I don't think any of them really matter.
Well, I'm okay. I'll just say this. I'll
tell you who they are. We have a Lionel from Legend of Zelda. We have Shredder. We have Electro.
Yeah.
We have Furnace from earlier. We have Man, and we have Pop Pete. Those are Sinister Six. So fight the Invincible, and they fight Titan, and they kick their asses. And okay, Mikey, if you really want to talk about them, you can. I'm sorry.
I just want to talk about one.
Go ahead.
So the first one we mentioned, Lionel from Thundercats, the way you talked, he said he was.
Yes.
You ain't wrong.
This motherfucker's name is Battle Beast.
Battle Beast.
And I will tell you this right now. He comes back.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest, I liked him.
It's intentionally written that way. Like you're only supposed to care about Battle Beast because he matters, even though he shows up briefly in this fight. But he does come back, and he actually becomes important.
Funny. He looks like a character in a mid-'80s cartoon. Like this guy would have an action figure of him, and he'd be awesome. You know?
Yeah, I remember.
No, guys, we got to get back. We're running low on time.
No, we're not.
What do you mean? Our average is from an hour to an hour 30.
Yeah, we're going a little long. So I'm already running out of villain names. So this team beats the shit out of Invincible and then the Guardians of the Globe show up, led by Immortal. Man, what's his name?
Immortal.
Immortal. And Immortal's like, stomp them. And then they do.
Except for Lionel.
And that's how that part ends. Mark goes home and Eve is there. Eve's like, listen, William and I broke up. We gotta talk. It's super important. What do they say? You're gonna have to wait, because then we go to Isotope. And Isotope's like, it's gonna take some cleaning up. They're a little messy, but it's all right, because we've got you, boss. And his boss is Titan.
Oh, I love his design in the suit.
Dude, it's so pimp.
He looks so cool.
Yeah.
So essentially, they planned. It was Titan's plan from the beginning. He wanted to be the head honcho, and he did it.
I love
that. Was clever. That was clever. I didn't see it coming.
So good. Like even I forgot it was happening, and then I was like, "Oh shit!" Like I had enough. It also shocked me too twice. So
yeah, it's interesting. Kirkman is setting up so much stuff. We've got Omni-Man out there somewhere. We've got this Martian dude over here. We have Titan doing his thing. Like
we have Levy doing his stuff. We have the Mauler twins doing their things.
Exactly. Like there's all this stuff getting set up, and
when it all falls down, man.
I'm so excited.
You don't even know, fam. Like
up until now, I've been enjoying it. I've been having a good time. I've honestly been having more fun talking to you guys and actually reading the stuff.
Yeah.
Now I'm hooked. Now I'm in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. Honestly, me too.
Like, thing is, like, I'm gonna tell you this right now, especially like I don't know if Matt mentioned, but like after the fight ends at the Guardians of the Globe, Battle Beast literally lifts up fucking Bulletproof and African American Samson. Shout out to Damone for that shit. And he literally was just like, this is, I literally came here for competition. This is all you have to give me? God damn it. This planet is weak, and just dips. He goes in the portal and leaves.
Just when people, the White Tiger specifically faces the two black superheroes.
He essentially has this Craven mentality, which I love, which I think is great. Like, and the thing is, like, if you haven't noticed by now, when things go in portals in Kirkman books, they get referenced again. So like he's coming back.
It sure seems that way.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say this right now. I watched an interview with Ryan Otley. I forget which one, but he said Battle Beast is one of his favorite. He's probably his favorite character to draw.
Cool. Okay.
And
he was the only one out of the group that posed a threat. One of them, all they did was burn a hole in the ground. The guy made out of magma made a fucking hole.
Yeah, magma. What's his name? Mag. Whatever the fuck.
He was guys.
Yeah. Pompey. We'll call him Senor Pompey.
Senor Pompey.
Yeah. He tried to fight, but then just fell through the fucking floor. I thought it was so fucking funny.
That is funny. Great. I like Battle Beast. Looks like a He-Man character. I think he looks great. He's so funny.
He's got the power.
He's got the power.
Oh my gosh. So any final thoughts on? I mean, Matt already basically gave his. If you want to talk more about it, you can. I mean, like
no, I basically said it. I'm real excited for next week.
Mm-hmm.
Same here. Yeah.
I love these issues were a lot of fun. As you said, like Kirkman is just sprinkling, just dashing salt and pepper and paprika and cumin and turmeric in these stories. Adding seasoning that all these things, as I said, like what I love about Invincible, he never leaves a stone unturned. He doesn't forget. So like all these things will be referenced, if not sooner than later. And it's very interesting. Armstrong, Engstrom Legby is going to be a cool character. Battle Beast will be coming back and be cool. It's going to be great. Yeah, I'm very excited for Engstrom Legby because like literally he's involved in like one of my literally my favorite event in Invincible. I love it. I love to death. Like it's so dope. And what we got in from his introduction was a little sneak peek of what that event might be, and it's great. And I love this. And yeah, so head of class arc is pretty good. So it's a lot of seasoning, a lot of cooking.
Yeah,
yeah,
a lot of cooking.
Yeah.
It's so good.
You have anything to say?
Me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
anything to say?
I apologize for the bathroom break. I really had to go. I should have gone before.
Yeah,
Didn't expect to have to later on, but
amateur mistake.
yeah,
It was your mistake.
Honestly, should have been a professional and just straight up peed myself. Sorry, guys. I dropped the ball today. Dropped the ball.
All right, well,
All right.
Yeah.
I think we got it here.
Yeah, well, yeah. So thank y'all for joining us. That was episode 6, the head of the class story arc. For next episode, which is going to be episode 7, it will be the facts of life story arc, which is going to be issues 20 to 24. Yeah, it's gonna be more cooking, and it's gonna be great. So, all right, guys. Christian, outro. Want to outro it again?
Oh, yeah, I want to do the outro.
You got
All right,
this.
guys. Remember, don't lick doorknobs. Don't cut holes in your mask. Don't put your face on things that a lot of people touch. And Mikey, you gonna do the
To
thing?
quote my favorite YouTuber, wash your damn hands. Peace, y'all. Thanks for watching.
Get home safe.
Get home safe.
Get them safe.